Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Oh, flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything.
95, 96, 97.3 Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. Hello and welcome to Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu here tonight with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
This particular act has been one that many aspiring lawyers have been looking up to. So it's been signed.
President John Dramani Mahama signs 2 bills, including the one on legal education. Tonight, we'll be asking what happens to the Ghana School of Law and the entrance exams to same. Also, coming up, outrage as government recruits only 100 pharmacists out of the 4,000 who applied through the portal. And later, on Eyewitness News, the opposition New Patriotic Party's attempt to hold polling station elections in constituencies which had injunctions placed on them falls, or rather fails, as affected party members revolt. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
banks well positioned to absorb shocks as capital buffers improve.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations and across the globe on citinewsroom.com. We are on YouTube and on Facebook. Just find Citi FM. You can send your messages to the show on 0539 986 996. Or on Twitter, now known as X, by mentioning my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Hawa has our first story.
President John Dramani Mahama has signed the Legal Education Reform Bill 2025 into law, ending the Ghana School of Law's 60-year monopoly over professional legal training. The new legislation allows accredited universities to run professional law programs to widen access to legal education. While critics fear the reform could affect quality standards, supporters say the previous system restricted entry into the profession. President Mahama says the law will maintain standards while expanding opportunities.
Regulate legal education and ensure the highest standards in terms of legal education, but also to open up the space, for more opportunity for legal education in Ghana. This particular act has been one that many aspiring lawyers have been looking up to. So it's been signed.
You heard President John Dramani Mahama.
Let's hear from one of the key persons who's been pushing this particular bill, which has now become law. Roxy Nelson Echida Famapo is NDC Member of Parliament for South Dai. He's also the Majority Whip in Parliament. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your listeners and viewers.
I have seen your post on X, which means congratulations are in order. This, for you, was a personal project. Can you tell us what your interest in this bill was?
Well, thank you very much. If you recall, sometime in 2018, some law students who had passed the entrance exams and were taken to the interview section. We were told that they had failed the interview. So they wrote a petition and wanted to see their interview score marks and all. They were denied. So it became a very topical matter. So they came to Parliament. And so upon a long and heated argument, we directed the General Legal Council to scrap the interview portion because some of the issues we were hearing, it wasn't fair. For instance, if they asked you that, do you have a lawyer in your family? If you said no, probably that was your end. So that reform came about. But it didn't solve the problem. We took the interview out of the entrance exams for entry into the Ghana School of Law. So he was left with the entrance exams only. The exams only, still people found a way around the exam. Because in 2019, then the following year, another batch of petitioners came to Parliament alleging that they have been told that they had failed the exam, and they don't think that they did because they were not convinced, or they were convinced that they had passed. So they demanded for either a remark or to retally their marks or to have a look at their script, and they were denied. So they came to Parliament. And it emerged that some students who didn't write the exams at all got admitted. It was a matter that led to an inquiry within the General Legal Council. So we realized that we needed proper reforms. So myself and my brother Susu, what did we do? We filed a private members bill in Parliament in 2021 to introduce major reforms. And because of the nature of the reform that we were looking for, by the procedure, we were asked to seek the AG support. It never came. So that private members bill asking to amend the Act 32 and introduce major reforms within the legal education never saw the light of day. But we made it a personal project that anytime the NDC return to power, we will ensure that this is done. So in the course of working on our 2024 manifesto, we indicated that the party should make it a major point that when we come to power, there will be reforms in the legal education. And truly, when we came, the Attorney General, of course, he also supported the idea when we were in opposition. So, having become the substantive Attorney General, it became his baby sort of. And we brought the bill, we shepherded it, did the stakeholder consultation, listened to everybody, including the Professional Association of Lawyers, both the Ghana Law Society as well as the Ghana Bar Association. They all brought memoranda, and we considered it. So here we are. So it's a major reform for prospective lawyers that access no longer is constricted. Access is now wider, even though standards have been heightened, but access is much wider and more available than before. And so if you apply yourself, you will become a lawyer for your family and for yourself.
So this was not a private members bill. This was a government-sponsored bill.
Sorry?
This was government-sponsored. It wasn't the private members bill that matured or that ended up becoming the law today. This came through the government-sponsored bill.
This is a fully government-sponsored bill. But I only gave you the history.
I get you. I just wanted to be sure whether so that failed with the last parliament and then it wasn't resuscitated this parliament.
We didn't receive support from government.
So now government took it up. Okay. Explain to me what the passage of this law means. So what are the practical new changes we are going to see?
Okay, so the practical new changes are that the faculties of law, they prefer to be called the law schools, will be accredited to also not only train persons to obtain their LLBs, but will be accredited, will be licensed, as it were, to train these LLB holders in the professional courses to become professional lawyers.
So, in the past where we had one school receiving all LLB holders, which is the Ghana School of Law, now we have many Ghana schools of law.
Yes, so to speak. So, for instance, if you check the law, the Mokola as a law school, we have had to establish it under the law.
So the new law establishes the Ghana School of Law as one of many schools that will be offering the professional law.
Yes, the Ghana School of Law was established by a policy. It wasn't by an act of parliament. In 58, Nkrumah just did it by a policy. So when we were enacting this law, we thought that it has to be properly established and given its functions properly. So under Section 78, we established the Ghana School of Law properly so-called as Makola and gave it some functions.
Does the function include doing an LLB program now?
No, the functions include training in the professional courses.
So it will just be a receiver of LLB holders. It will not train LLB holders.
Yes, they are not. So they will be licensed to train only the professional at the professional level, and also offer other professional related courses.
Okay.
They will offer LLB.
Okay. Now, but KNUST, University of Ghana, all of them would now be doing the professional law course. Would it also include...
University of Cape Coast, Central University, Jimpa, all of them will be licensed to train in the professional programs in addition to the Ghana School of Law as established.
Both private and public universities will now do the professional law course, which used to be called
Yes. Once you meet the accreditation, under the Constitution, there is freedom of people have the freedom to establish educational institutions, whether tertiary, secondary, or basic.
Okay.
And so, where persons have already established tertiary institutions that train or that run courses that lead to the award of LLB, in this accreditation process, you can't take them out. In fact, it will be shut down one day.
Okay. Now, this post LLB professional law course is going to be 1 year, not 2 years as we currently have.
Yes, it's going to be 1 year.
Under the new law. And you are going to bring some programs from the professional law course to the LLB. That's also the plan.
Yes. In fact, if we have time, I can take you through some of the new things that we've introduced in the curriculum development for the LLB program. Very far-reaching. When we went at the LLB level, that was not how the curriculum was. But because we want to enhance the standards, heighten talking standards, and improve it, it's important that we introduce this in the curriculum at the LLB level.
Okay. Now, this LLB, this law has, because the presidential assent has been granted, it becomes law. What happens to the...
Effective immediately.
Okay. What happens to Act 32, which established the General Legal Council, which had modalities including the Ghana School of Law and students pursuing the law under same? What happens to someone?
Okay, so if you read the new law under section 91, that's the consequential amendments. We have consequential amendments. It reads like the Legal Profession Act 1932 has been amended by repeal of some major sections. I don't have the law immediately with me, but I recall that subsection 1 of section 3 has been repealed. Section 3 of Act 32 repealed. Section 4 has been repealed. I think section 13 has also been repealed. Section paragraph A of section 14 has also been repealed. Section 15. So all these major provisions in Act 32 have effective immediately been repealed. It's gone.
Okay, just to understand. So I'm a student of the Ghana School of Law. I'm in part 2. I'm expecting to write an examination conducted by the General Legal Council. That Legal Council has been scrapped. The Ghana School of Law itself has been given a new function. What happens to students currently in the Ghana School of Law like myself?
Okay, so Section 93 answers your query. Section 93 is a transitional provision of the law, and it is the effect that all persons who are presently studying under the existing law in the Ghana School of Law will continue to study under the regime as though they entered the Ghana School of Law and studied under the new law. That's what we do when you are enacting laws of this nature.
Okay.
You do what we call the saving
clause.
provision.
Okay.
A saving clause. So we call it transitional provision because there has to be a transition.
Okay. What happens
between the existing law and the new one?
Okay. What happens to those who were preparing to write the entrance exams for the Ghana School of Law, as usually happens every year? So if you already have an LLB now and you are preparing, what should you do listening to us tonight?
There's nothing like entrance exam now, entering Ghana School of Law. By way of admission, there's nothing like that under the new law.
We saw a circular that said July 9 or so they were going to write the
You see, first of all, that circular was not sanctioned by the IEC. It was some busybody who thought that you must put something up because maybe July is approaching it. And let me say this without any equivocation. Umaru, some colleague lawyers have turned the entrance examination into a commercial activity. And they are fleecing prospective law students, let me say they are professional law students, by pretending that they are organizing extra classes towards the exams. You have no idea how much money these prospective and expectant professional law students are paying to these people. So to them, anything that will take this enterprise away is an anathema. They don't want to hear it. Because every season, they make millions. And you know, the numbers are huge. So some of the classes, I am told, there are as many as 300 in a class. And you have lawyers boasting that if you attend my extra classes, the pass rate here is 90%. In fact, even the entrance exams, it is some of us who mark it. They do this thing in classes. So from day one, they are against this enterprise in respect of reform. But we told them, lie, it has to happen. So anybody who is against this reform are part of those people who have turned the entrance exam into an enterprise. Or turned the law school, because it's so restricted, they've also, they've been organizing extra classes as part of even the normal law school training. And make thousands from people, hundreds of thousands.
Okay, just a few more things I want to understand. You are saying that there will be no entrance exams for this year. Because you also said that there's a saving provision, one would have thought that those who are wishing to enter would enter now under the existing law.
Please. Because a lot of people are listening to us, so let's take it methodically. Those who are already in the law school now, who have entered and are students, part 1, part 2, they are saved by the provision in Section 93. Anything outside of that is not known to Ghana School of Law, and it's also not known to this law.
Okay. What about students who are intending to do the post-course? So I'm a lawyer from Sierra Leone, the Gambia, or the UK.
Yes, law school will be licensed to continue to offer. I told you that in addition to the professional training, they were also licensed to, as part of their functions, they are also licensed to offer other professional related programs.
Would that
includes the post-core training.
So post-core will be exclusive to the Ghana School of Law, or all other universities can now do the post-core?
I think that any other accredited university that is able to meet the accreditation can also offer post-core courses.
Okay. I'll let us deal with the LLB, but just a few things I want to understand on the Ghana School of Law, not Ghana School of Law, on the new process. When are you going to do the accreditation for these universities to be ready to admit students?
The focus, I think, should be on when the council will be set up. I think we are all anxious that the council should be set up as soon as possible, because the council, that's going to be the regulatory body to receive the accreditation and verify and accredit or issue the license, temporal and permanent. So we are once the assent was given to them, I'm sure the AG himself we were there together to have the assent, to witness the assent giving. So I'm sure we will put steps in place, measures in place to ensure that the council is immediately constituted, so that they can, and then the Director General will be appointed, and under the law, a registrar is also required to be appointed and their deputy, so that the council can function properly to receive accreditation application from the faculties or the law schools, vet them and accredit them. Because the timeline is that by September, the law should be fully implemented in terms of academic programs and everything being rolled up under the new law.
You are sure that it will be possible to set up a council, go do school visitations, inspect the facilities, do all the assessments, give accreditations for them to be able to recruit their lecturers, get their facilities ready for students in September?
Umaru, you are a student of Ghana School of Law, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So if Ghana School of Law applies for purposes of accreditation, for purposes of offering professional training to prospective law students, what would be the difficulty?
That's Ghana School of Law. They already are doing that.
Hold on.
My LLB school, Central University, which does not do the professional law course.
So I'll get there.
Okay.
I'm just using your school as an example. What would be the difficulty that University of Ghana School of Law will have when it applies for accreditation, when it is already offering as an extended facilities, as an extended campus for Ghana School of Law students? When Tech does same, when UCC does same. So I'm only saying that the schools, the deans of all these faculties and law schools were part of the stakeholder engagement. And so in fact, they even propose some of the requirements and the procedures of how things will be done. So they are already aware. We have all been waiting for the assent to be given. So once the assent came today, all the other things will move with some dispatch and alacrity.
Would there not be a certain level of qualification that would make you eligible to teach at the post-call level, for instance? Because the lecturers they have... So that's what I'm asking. So they have to now advertise vacancies, recruit lecturers.
But if you follow, they are doing that. If you follow, the universities are doing that in anticipation. They are recruiting. They are recruiting and spacing of meeting these criteria. I mean, I'm following them closely. They are all putting their house in order for purposes of the implementation of this new law.
So if you're currently holding an LLB or you're about to get an LLB, listening to the majority chief whip, do not worry about writing an entrance exams in July. That's a hoax. Just prepare, wait for your university to be accredited, and you apply to that university.
Thank you very much.
That's a summary of the issue.
Thank you very much. There's nothing like entrance exam known in this law at all.
And if you are at university and you want to do,
let me add. In fact, if any school wants to admit, the admission criteria will be determined by the council. The council is going to provide generally how admissions will be conducted entry into all the law schools. So it is not as if one law school will decide what it should do.
Okay. On the programs that would be done at the professional law course, currently there are 10 courses that are done. So 6 in part 1 and 4 in part 2. If you are an LLB holder now who is hoping to enter the professional law course, you were saying to me tonight that not all the 10 courses will be done at the professional law level because some would be sent to the LLB. So if, for instance, the law of evidence is taken from the professional law level and sent to the LLB, and I have just finished my LLB entering the professional law course, how do I make up for that evidence, law of evidence I'm yet to learn?
I think the problem is that we haven't applied ourselves to the law, and this is what the law says in terms of curriculum development. At the professional level, evidence will still be taught as part of the courtroom procedure, as part of civil procedure course, because there's an evidence-related civil procedure, and then evidence related to criminal procedure. All this will be taught at the professional level. So evidence as evidence qua evidence.
I use a lot of evidence as just an example. I don't know which one you would be relegating to the LLB. So I'm just asking if you relegate any of the courses, the 10 courses currently at Makola, where I'm using Makola now to refer to professional law course, what happens to a student who did 4 years undergrad LLB, who is now entering the professional law course? And so if you have taken that course away, how do they get to learn and benefit from that?
In the law, we always learn. We never, even those who are 50 years in the law, they always learn new things. There are always new things coming up. So I don't think that anybody who's done an LLB under the existing program and is going to pursue professional program under the new regime will close his mind to studying. So irrespective of the fact that the duration for the professional training would have been shortened, you are still exposed to everyday learning. Even when you pass your bar and you go into practice, you still learn. Okay. As I speak to you, I'm in the office, I've been reading, I'm doing some work, so I'm poring over law books all over. So it's not as if you will never get the opportunity to learn again. But the point I'm making is that once you have an LLB, you can only look forward to entry into a new system of professional training,
okay,
which is shorter but more intensive, I should say, under the new law. It's very, very intensive.
You've talked about,
and it's also practicalized.
So you've talked about the council to be constituted. Does it mean the General Legal Council is effectively dissolved?
Omar is saying that the law is being implemented effective immediately.
So General Legal Council is dissolved.
Omar is saying that the new law is implemented effective immediately.
When will the new council
under section 1 of the law, there's establishment of a council for legal education and training, and that council will have its own subcommittees to help it function. The functions of the council are captured under section 3 of the act. The object of the council is captured under section 2 of the law. The council will have a governing body. That is the population, the people who populate that governing body is also outlined in the law. The functions of the board is captured under section 5. So we should apply ourselves to the terms of the new law.
Okay.
And then we know the new regime. But I'm not saying that we have deliberately abolished anything. No. This is the new law. This is what the law, these are the terms of the law.
Yes, and the new law abolishes the General Legal Council, which has a Director of Legal Education, currently Professor Raymond Atuguba.
We are going to have a Director General.
Okay, I'm saying that so currently Professor Raymond Atuguba is the Director of Legal Education acting. There's a General Legal Council that has a disciplinary, it has a disciplinary committee which disciplines lawyers. Yes. Please. Let me land with the question, then you can.
No, let's stick to the new law, please. Don't put words in my mouth. Let's stick to what the new law requires. That is what I'm comfortable talking about.
So I should look forward, not back.
Yes, look forward, not back.
So General Legal
Council. Under the new law, we are going to have a Director General.
Okay.
That will be like the Chief Executive of the Council for Legal Education and Training.
Okay.
And then there will be a registrar to assist him to do all the work that the council will be undertaking, and other statutory officers.
Okay. The new law does not talk about entrance exams like we currently have. That's for professional law course. What about the entrance exams we have to the various faculties? I think GIMPA just did their own recently.
Yes, nobody has a problem with that. You see, I think we must, let us all appreciate one thing. No law student is afraid of exams. No. In fact, examination is part of a lawyer's life, everyday life. They either be examined by judges or colleague lawyer, or they are examining others under cross-examination. So lawyers love examination. What the problem has been is the fact that there is a very limited space available for training of professional lawyers. And so the entrance exams has become necessary to, as it were, sieve the number of people, the volumes of application that they have. So the entrance exam is actually for sieving. And it's not because of anything. It's just to sieve, to decide people. People who are not me. When I qualified from the law faculty in 2007, there was no entrance exam because there was no exams at the time, no interview. Our names were just submitted to get Mokala, and then we were called. They were looking for me before I went.
Okay.
You see, so it is that system that has compelled these reforms. That no, we cannot continue to limit the space for people to receive legal education, because you see, lawyers have the capacity to employ. A lawyer will set up a firm and employ 1, 2, 3, 4 people. If the firm is large, up to about 10 or 20 persons. So law firms have the ability to generate huge employment. So lawyers are an economic resource to any economy. And then we make the point that over 3,000 students, Ghanaian students, are studying in Sierra Leone, Gambia, Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Rwanda for purposes of becoming professional lawyers, because the spaces are not available at home. And these are colleagues, they are treated like foreign students. So they take money from here, they change this into foreign currency, and go and pay high school fees.
Okay.
And this reform is going to reverse that.
All right.
Because I completed Mokola with some friends from Nigeria, because that time Nigeria was also having similar problems. So they came to study here.
Okay. Last
and
question.
their fees were higher. While we were not paying fees at Mokola, they were paying.
Last question before you go, sir. So this new law takes off the bottleneck at the entry level. What happens at the exit level? Because you have a national bar exam. So
yes,
currently if we have 10 universities doing what Makola used to do, and they can all produce 10 or 12,000 lawyers, you are going to let them sit a bar exams. Would that bar exams not again limit them like the entrance exams used to limit entrance into the school?
At all.
Exit exams will not be the problem?
At all. When I entered Makola, there were some persons who had been there for like 5 years. We finished and left them. After 2 years, we finished and left. The persons remained there and got called sometime, I think 10 years ago. I finished like 16 years ago. They got called like 10 years ago. So those people, they stayed there like 10 years just trying to seek legal education. And it was not a bother for them because they were trying. So the point is that at the exit level, by all means, write your national bar exams. When you pass, you get called to the bar. If you don't pass, you try again. Nobody will be frustrating you about entry. You are finished. You are qualified. You are prepared. So your battle is with the national bar exams.
Yeah, but that's also another battle. Take, for instance, our medical students we send to Cuba. They return, they are full professional doctors, and yet they have something to do with the Medical and Dental Council. If they do not pass that exams, they can't get to practice in Ghana. And a lot of them are yes, a lot of them are frustrated by that. You don't think that the same thing happens with lawyers?
That is their post call. It happens to lawyers also. Lawyers who get called in other jurisdictions of co-terminals legal regime like us still cannot practice before our court unless they get called to the Ghanaian bar. And so when you come here, you run what you earlier referenced as the post call. People fail the post call, they try again. They fail, they try again until they pass it. And so as for exams, there's no guarantee that when you sit for the exam or every number that sits for an exam should pass. It can happen, it may not happen.
Very well.
But where the exams are used to limit your opportunities, it's worrisome.
Thank you so much.
And so as it's an international standard everywhere, let the people sit for the national bar exams. You pass, you get caught. You don't pass, you go back, you prepare again. And so that's why some of us are proposing that even the national bar exams, it should be twice a year. January, you qualify, you get called in March. then July, you qualify, you get called in September. And then we make progress.
Thank you, Chief Whip, for speaking to us.
Pleasure.
That's the Majority Chief Whip in Parliament and MP for South Dai, the Honourable Roxy Nelson Eche Dafamapo. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra, and we are live around Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Upper West region on Tumpani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli, in Upper East on Rekas 92.1 FM in Bongo Namo, Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo, and in Bolga on 102.7 FM, that's Bolga FM. In Northern region, we are on North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. We are in the Northeast region on Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalerugo. We are on Radio Jimbali 107.3 FM in Jimbali. We are in the Western region on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both of them based in Takrady. In the Ashanti region, we are in Kumasi on Focus 94.3 FM on the campus of KNUST and Orange 107.9 FM at the Kumasi Mall. We are in Volta region on Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala, Holy 98.5 FM in Aflao. In Savannah region, we are on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and we are interactive. So that is the news there. The president has just signed into law the new legal education reform bill. That was not the only law he signed. There was another one. How will tell us about that?
Well, Sandra, he also assented to the Value for Money Office bill, officially establishing the Value for Money Office. The establishment of the office is expected to enhance scrutiny of government expenditure and improve value assessment in the execution of public projects and procurement processes. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiola Tuforsen, briefing the media, described the move as a decisive step towards addressing long-standing inefficiencies in Ghana's public financial management system.
President Mahama, as part of his campaign pledge, promised to establish the Value for Money Office, and today he has graciously assented to it following Parliament's passage. I want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the menace of public sector padding of contracts and overinflation of contracts will be curtailed by this signature. What we seek to do is to use the next 6 months to properly constitute the office, nominate the leadership of the Value for Money Office, and constitute the technical team that will ensure the implementation of the Act. And so I believe that beginning 2027 January, this office will be fully implemented and Ghanaians will see the need of a Value for Money Office. I have seen Value for Money Office being operated in other countries, and I can tell you for a fact that if there's one single office that can pay for itself from day one, it is the Office for Value for Money Office, because it's reduced public expenditure and obviously create fiscal space that will be used to develop other sectors of the economy.
Dr. Kasiola Tuforsen is Finance Minister.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me know what you make of the stories we are bringing you. 0539-986-996, 0539-986-996.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
Electrical say you mean Nancy no ma ye wo every time man for akosua fake na begum it's am on motor cables ah ho na ma scan check the cables no or your Nexus cable metal one low smoke anti counterfeit cables ni bia so nya bia monto da e dey na ma wo use sa cables na ma ne dem suronko low smoke anti counterfeit cables ah we me che dey the fake cables anya papa wire dan na se jeto ma opu wusu pi toxic ah no me je no so huwa ono ponko table to make na say use low smoke anti-counterfeit cable. A major in show. We soak a creepy number. Into a triangle between a gentleman. And when you low smoke anti-counterfeit cables, yeah. Etra. And wonder why. The bottom of scan. Now check it there. So your original. Offering Nexus cable metal. Nexus cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable. Yes, Sasha. The yaja to be there. Only you got a cable. Oh, that.
Nexon's cable metal. Electricity no get leg. The Nexon's cable metal cable they carry up.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A law that was passed in the 60s has been amended or repealed by the House of Parliament with the introduction of a new bill on legal education. That bill has been given presidential assent, which makes it law. And you've just listened there to the Majority Chief Whip explain to me what the new law means. Let's speak to Kweku Ansah-Asare. He's a former director of the Ghana School of Law and also the owner of Mount Crest, or the man who runs Mount Crest University. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
You've listened to my... Good evening. You've listened to my conversation with the Majority Whip. Does it answer all the questions you have as someone who once headed the Ghana School of Law and who also has a school that has a faculty of law?
So, run me through one by one. Yeah, so your first question?
My first question is, as someone who once ran the Ghana School of Law, the new bill that has been passed, which bill would provide for professional law course in all universities that have met the accreditation? Is that a good news?
Yes, and timely. We think it's timely, is the right way to go, and the timelines that have been, outlined or spelled out by the president, also, right steps in the right direction.
It's good you said timely. Those who just finished or are about to finish your school, I'm sure by now were preparing to write the entrance exams. That exams, we are told, it would effectively not happen. But
I think it will happen.
Why do you think it will happen?
Because, this is a new law. Transitional provisions have been made. They've not been rolled out yet. We don't know, what they are. But fortunately, the president was gracious enough, to say that the timelines, will be effective as from January next year. I mean, we cannot, fold, our arms and say that we'll wait until next year, when there are many out there, who are so out of frustration, struggling to enter the law school. So,
sorry, sir. Did you say the president said this? I did not hear him. When did he say this?
The president said something. The attorney general also said something. They are all speaking on the same thing. And
yes, what I'm saying is that I just finished interviewing the Majority Whip, and he has said to me that there will be no entrance exams this year.
Under the act, under the new, under the bill that has just been signed.
Yes, but that
law under. So there is an existing law. The act does not squash the existing law, and therefore the General Legal Council can still go ahead to organize entrance exams.
No.
The last time, I think it's really a good thing to do.
You may think it's a good thing, but from what Roxin Dafamapa has just said to me, the General Legal Council itself.
I heard him. He said under the new reform. He did not say under the old regime. That's not what he said.
Yes, but the law.
And I don't think that Honorable Dafia Meko. And in any case, Honorable Dafia Meko is not Ghana. You understand? Honorable Dafia Meko, has been in the forefront of it. So he is, very happy and say that, he's won, victory in that regard. And that under, what he has sponsored, the entrance exam has been abolished. Correct. But I'm also submitting that, because as a lawyer, my understanding, the expression of the one is the exclusion of the other. So if he has expressed a view that under the legal education reform bill that has just been signed into law, entrance exam has been abolished. The monopoly of the law school, has been taken away and all that. He has not said anything untoward, in as far as it will affect the General Legal Council holding an entrance exam into the Ghana School of Law.
Yeah,
and if the Attorney General says that no budgetary allocation has been made, must we as a nation wait till Parliament, discusses the appropriation bill in March or April next year? No, that would be a wrong move.
Okay, Mr. Ansari, I'm a bit surprised by your position because you see, a new law has been passed. The General Legal Council, as you know it, according to the Member of Parliament, ceases to exist. There will be a new Council on Legal Education that would be set up. That's yet to be constituted. And that General Legal Council is what organizes entrance exams. It does not exist, so how can it organize entrance exams?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm saying that the Member of Parliament said that there will be no entrance exams. The body that organized that entrance...
Under the new dispensation.
Yeah, but the new dispensation took effect from this afternoon when the President appended his signature to that bill.
From next year, under the transitional provision.
So the transitional provision says January next year? Because the man
was... I'm saying that...
No, sorry, with all respect, sir, if you haven't seen it, the man who guided the bill through Parliament just spoke to me. And he said...
I heard him emphasize time and time again that under the new, that is why Honorable Asifwa was saying that this has created, some confusion, in the minds of final year law students. So I'm saying that, if Honorable Dafiamako was emphatic that entrance exam has been abolished under the new, setup. He did not say that therefore the law school should not. He said if the General Legal Council decides, to conduct entrance exam and all stakeholders are agreeable, why not? Didn't you hear him say that?
Very well. I did not hear him say it in the sense, in the meaning you're saying.
Then call him again.
No, I think I understood what he said, but thank you. Thank you so much for your input, sir.
You're welcome.
That's Kwekwan Sasari. He's former director of the Ghana School of Law and also the owner of Moncrest University. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about the pharmacists now, shall we, Hawa?
So the Government and Hospital Pharmacist Association is raising concerns over transparency in the recruitment of pharmacists into government hospitals. The association says out of the over 6,000 applications submitted nationwide, only 100 pharmacists and 150 pharmacy technicians were selected. Speaking to Citi News, President of the association, Emmanuel Oriafe, called for a detailed breakdown of the recruitment allocations to address growing concerns among applicants.
In the recruitment process, we noticed a number of issues that was of grave concern, and the first one has gotten to do with the lack of transparency on the allocation. We did not have the privilege of any data published for us to actually even know the regional allocations and then the district allocations. We don't know how many numbers the Ministry of the Ghana Health Service required, how many numbers was to be allocated to the Christian Health Association of Ghana facilities and then the other agencies of the Ministry of Health. But unfortunately, despite these huge numbers, only 100 pharmacists and 150 pharmacy technicians had slots, allocated to them. The key issue is one, this number is really very, very inadequate. The 250 overall represent less than 3% of the numbers that were actually even verified and vetted.
President of the Government and Hospital Pharmacist Association, Emmanuel Oriafe.
On Friday on Eyewitness News, I brought you a story where there were injunctions placed on the NPP's internal elections scheduled to vote polling station executives in 3 constituencies, one of them being Bunkpurugu. Now, over the weekend, we are told that the party went ahead with the election, or at least attempted to go ahead with the election. The aggrieved members would have none of it. In Bunkpurugu, there was chaos after the party members prevented the conduct of that particular exercise. Haruna Mohammed is Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. He's joined us on the line. Mr. Mohammed, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
It appeared you did not want to obey the law in Bunkpurugu at least, but your party members ensured that you did. Why did you go ahead with the election when it was injuncted?
Thank you very much, Umaru. Good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers over your social media handles. In fact, the matter of the injunction came in over the weekend, and when injunction matters comes in, there is way of service. If the way of service has not been properly served and the organizers of the elections are not properly aware of injunctions, which is being properly served through the process, they would make attempts to go ahead to execute an already planned activity over the stretch of the weekend. Having realized that when the week has just begun, our lawyers for that particular constituency will be filing a response to that particular matter and make references to various provisions of the party's guidelines and how there should be resolutions within the party setup. So I've spoken with the lawyers, and I am of the firm conviction that they will be filing from tomorrow from the part of the New Patriotic Party. But I can assure you that there is no election that is going to be conducted at the moment. The lawyers have spoken to me, and I am relating what has been told me to you and to the general public to appreciate the fact and where it has come from.
So you're going to find a way of dealing with the dispute before thinking of conducting another election?
Once there is a service, once there is a recognition of an injunction by way of ex-party, which has a 10-day expiry period, our lawyers are looking at it and they will make an appearance. And once the lawyers are making appearance with respect to that, it definitely means that what the court has said would be sustained until otherwise determined by the same court upon the representation of the party in court in due process.
Now, the chaos in Bunkpurugu, were any of your members injured?
We haven't gotten any of such a report of injury. If there was, I believe that we would have received some level of report with regards to injuries or anything that has happened from the brouhaha or the mishap that came up in Bunkpurugu.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us. The party members who dragged you to court, any sanctions, anything planned against them for them yet?
We haven't gotten there yet. Let's deal with the matter in court, and then probably what we will present to the court will also reflect what the party members will also understand, because in the party we have how we settle disputes, and the internal processes must be properly exhausted. Again, the guidelines that we have issued for this election has also stipulated how disputes should be dealt with. And none in the lines of the dispute indicated that you have to run to the court. We have made adequate provisions in the guidelines to be able to address such matters. But then they have used that particular cause, which we intend to go to the court to fight that particular matter and make sure that we bring resolution to it.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you, Umaru.
That's Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. We have Point Blank coming up in the next few minutes, and my guest tonight is Obobia Daku Opoku. She is administrator of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, the Mahama Cares. We'll talk about that. But before then, we have business news with Hawa Idrisu. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Your attention, please. Flight C8 has been delayed.
Again? Madam, can you please point me to the water fountain? And please watch my back and phone whilst I'm gone.
You can be a traveler with infinite worries.
Hello, Mr. Anand. Your lounge access is ready and your seat is warm.
Or you can be a traveler with infinite privileges.
Champagne, sir?
The region or the drink.
Choose EcoBank's infinite privileges with an EcoBank Visa Infinite card. Access airport lounges worldwide, fast-track services, best-in-class daily limits, and enjoy other exclusive travel and lifestyle benefits. Infinite privileges await. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. Ghana's banking sector closed 2025 on a stronger footing, underpinned by improved financial reserves and signs of renewed financial stability across the industry. The sector's capital adequacy ratio, a key measure of a bank's financial strength, rose from 14% rather, to 17.5%, marking an improvement that reflects growing resilience among banks. Even more notable, the ratio excluding regulatory reliefs increased from 11.3% to 17.5%. Here is more.
At the same time, banks are showing signs of improved discipline in managing loan portfolios. Non-performing loans, one of the industry's biggest concerns in recent years, declined from 21.8% to 18.9%. NPLs, excluding loss category loans, dropped from 8.5% to 5%, pointing to stronger loan recovery efforts and tighter credit risk management practices across the industry. The figures released in the latest industry analysis by the Ghana Association of Banks paints the picture of a banking sector that is steadily rebuilding confidence after years of economic turbulence, debt restructuring pressures, and rising credit risk. For customers, businesses, and investors, stronger capital adequacy means banks are now better positioned to absorb financial shocks, support lending, and withstand periods of economic uncertainty.
Emmanuel Opon filed that report. Now, Africa's fintech ecosystem is entering a new critical phase in which policy execution rather than discussion will determine its long-term impact. This comes at a time when the industry is attracting increasing investor interest driven by mobile money expansion, digital payment infrastructure, and emerging regulatory frameworks across multiple jurisdictions. Closing the 2026 3i Africa Summit in Accra, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, stressed that policy alignment and execution gaps remain key constraints to scaling the sector's full potential.
The team enabled deeper and more focused discussions on advancing Africa's digital financial ecosystem through the adoption of emerging technologies, as well as the strengthening of regulatory frameworks and institutional capacity, as well as deepening relevant partnerships towards achieving our critical goals. While I'm confident that the expectations of these discussions have been met, it is imperative that deliberate and coordinated actions follow from here in order to translate dialogue into tangible outcomes. The rich discussions that took place collectively point us towards what I describe as a rebirth of Africa's digital and financial ecosystem. Colleagues, a rebirth signifies renewal and growth. These attributes are evident in the youthful and dynamic nature of Africa's digital financial ecosystem, talking about its agility, its expanding opportunities, and its immense potential.
Dr. Johnson Esiama is governor of the Bank of Ghana. The Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association has cast doubt on the viability of government's proposed plan to process excess eggs into powder as a solution to the recurring egg glut in the country. According to the chief executive of the association, Mohammed Ali, while the idea of converting eggs into powder could help reduce post-harvest losses, government must first ensure that there is a ready and sustainable market for the processed product. Speaking to Citi Business News, Mohammed Ali stressed that without a clear market strategy, the initiative could struggle to deliver the expected relief to poultry farmers who often face significant losses during periods of oversupply.
Even currently, the processing plant, who and who possess it? Is the government telling us that it's going to procure the processing plant for farmers to send their eggs, raw eggs, to be processed? The only thing that we are looking for, where is the market for the powder, the egg powder? There must be a market for it first. Any business person, before he venture into any decision, he identify a potential market or a good market where he can market his products. That's what we look. The biggest importers, the biggest users of this powdered egg, they are bringing everything from outside. Until government find the very good market for this, it will become the same for the raw eggs. Nothing will change.
Mohammed Ali is the chief executive of the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association, and that's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mappé. Et mappé. Eh, Asamo. French idiot. This is midi croissant.
Meet Aja. She makes sobolo in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
Watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no na. My boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN Ejumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight on Point Blank, I'm going to interview someone I used to listen to when I was in my cowboy days on radio. She became a politician, ran for parliament, served as deputy at the airport company. And when President Mahama envisioned the Mahama Cares, he put her in charge. So tonight we'll talk about what care Mahama is giving to Ghanaians and how this has been implemented. The long title of the office is Ghana Medical Trust Fund. But if that's too long, just call it Mahama Cares. The administrator of the Mahama Cares or the trust fund is Adwa Obobia Dako Opoko. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just wondering why you added Adwa.
Because I'm Kojo, so I like
okay.
So, and today is Monday. So
and you know we are special.
Yeah, we're very special.
Sure.
Yeah, we start the week and we stress people to the end of the week. How are you, Obi?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's good to see you. It's like 100 years now. Since
you remember the last interview we had?
No.
In my couch, in Wager.
Oh, don't. When you say in your couch, like that, people will start having it. Okay, it was sounding too cozy. In Wager?
Yes, it was a beautiful interview.
Oh, that was when you wanted to go to Wager. Yes. And then landlady didn't allow you.
That wasn't my portion.
Oh, no, but you can go back home.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Jerry, the only thing you need to do, play football, go play football, finish him, break his leg at the football pitch on Saturday, and you take over.
You end up breaking my 2 legs.
But how have you been? How is
very well, by the grace of God.
You started off as deputy to the airports company CEO.
Yes, please.
And then you were moved to...
Yes, on the 1st of August 2025, I was moved.
Oh, so just 4-5 months now.
Okay, and that was just when the act had been passed by Parliament.
So they had to then go through the whole bill, and I think one of the priority areas, that's why they had to go to Parliament, get the law passed.
Yes, sure.
So let's talk about this trust fund. What is it supposed to be? What was the idea behind it?
To mobilize resources to finance specialized care for chronic diseases.
Explain
and
that.
We call it the NCDs.
So explain that in a common man's language. So let me know, when they say, oh, Obi works for the president, this is what the president has asked her to do. What exactly, for the person living in Wager, what are you doing for this country?
Non-communicable diseases. I'm sure you know what non-communicable diseases.
I didn't like
stroke, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancers, etc. When you talk about NCDs, is ordinarily you can say that there's some that is communicable. So when I get infected, you can also get infected. But there are these ones that you cannot pass on to the next person. So that's a non-communicable diseases. And that's how I've mentioned a few to you.
So this is not preventable. This is not, okay, can you prevent it?
You can prevent it. That's what the free primary healthcare is doing.
Okay, so but you're supposed to treat it when it happens.
Yes.
So
treat it. National Health Insurance will treat it to a certain point.
Okay.
When it gets into the chronic state, Ghana Medical Trust Fund comes in. So it's a 3-tier, like a pyramid. So beneath it is a free primary health care. In the middle is the National Health Insurance. When it gets into the chronic state, at the apex is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund.
So if someone goes for dialysis every week, that is your
twice a week.
Yes,
that's on National Health Insurance.
That's a National Health.
The moment it gets into a kidney failure, it gets into its chronic state. You need more than 2 dialysis sessions a week. Clearly, you move away from the National Health Insurance because that's where the National Health Insurance ends. It cannot continue because it cannot pay beyond that.
Okay.
So then that's when you get onto the Ghana Medical Trust Fund.
So does it mean that your fund is for senior sickness? It's not for ordinary people. It's
at
for,
all.
So that when you have to reach a certain level before you qualify to come under.
Exactly.
So it's not a general thing. It's not for everybody.
No, it's anyway. When you get into a chronic state, so it's for when your ailment has gotten chronic.
Okay.
That's when you get onto the Ghana Medical Trust Fund.
Now,
so you can't wake up in the morning and have a toothache and think that you should be onboarded onto the Ghana Medical Trust Fund.
You were set up by law.
Yes,
you are
please.
a fund. So you are just like Get Fund Administration. You are like this
Act
is
1144.
Act 1144.
2025.
And your mandate would be to do what and what?
To mobilize resources to finance specialized care for chronic diseases.
Where are you supposed to mobilize those funds from?
So 20% of National Health Insurance levy comes to us directly. Then we seek for help. Corporate institutions, individuals, other funds can also contribute to us. Government has its own seed money that it gives us. So that's how we mobilize.
That's what I was going to ask. So did government give you some seed capital to
Not
start
for
with?
our first year. Hopefully maybe the coming year.
Okay, so you would then be giving, the government will say, this is how much we are pumping to you, in addition to what NHIS will give you.
I take what we're doing now as a pilot for government, because government has to understand exactly how much will go into what we're doing. So I think that the 20% of the national health insurance clearly is for them to understand exactly what it means to treat these persons living with a non-communicable disease. We've done a lot of work. We've got the experts to do the actuarial analysis and giving us figures on how much it will cost to treat these cancer patients. We have dealt with our own subject matter experts in cancers, and we have decided that of all the conditions, if we decide to roll them out at the same time, the fund will sink. So what we want to do is to start with the cancers first.
Okay.
So when we start with the cancers, I'm sure it will give us an idea of how much it will cost us a year. And then going forward, maybe every quarter, we add one more condition. So we are starting with the cancers from June. We can decide that maybe in September, we add cardiovascular disease. Maybe in December, we add diabetes, stroke, and all that. So going forward, we keep adding.
If NHIS was already taking care of my health care, which is what the selling point is, why do we need a Mahama Cares?
Because at a point where the national health insurance ends, and then you get into your chronic state and you go into the facility, and your national health insurance card simply cannot cover whichever state you have gotten into in that chronic state. Clearly, you would have gone back home to sit and throw your hands up in despair if you don't have the money.
But the problem is that you collect the money from NHIS. So if NHIS has the money, why don't you let NHIS just roll this up? Why do you have to create a new fund? Sounds like duplicity, does it not?
No, yes, but at the end of the day, it's not just the NHIS money that we're using.
But that's like the majority of the money that you get. If they give you 20% of whatever their allocations are, and they give some to the primary health care, why don't you just let them run it? So what's your relationship with NHIS?
Very good. They are like our big brothers.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I think that even the UN, WHO and all, when HIV came, they decided that they were going to establish a different fund for it because clearly they needed to pay attention to HIV. So I think that getting into this chronic state, maybe they have to take the load off national health insurance and give it to another body to run it.
But you have not started running yet, have you?
We have, because we've done the pilot cases, we've tested our systems, we understand exactly what we have to put into it.
I'll ask you to explain that, but let me understand. You have a new mandate, which means you have a new office. How is the setup of the office going? Are you complete setting up your office, or you are still at the setting up stage? I mean, physical office and also administrative.
Physical office from September. So we have a secretariat, we have a board of trustees, we have done a needs assessment tour, because at the end of the day, the chronic states, you need to deal with these tertiary hospitals.
So you have a physical space where? Where's your physical office?
In Cantonment.
Cantonment.
Yes.
Now, you have staff, you've done recruitment and all of that. You are at the top, of course, as the administrator.
Yeah.
Do you need to recruit people to do stuff for you, or you're supposed to do coordination with the existing Ghana Health Service people? How is it working?
So we have some secondary staff of the National Health Insurance. We have permanent staff. We also have just employed patient navigators and regional coordinators who will be situated in these facilities to take care of our patients.
Do people need to come to your office, or people need to go to a hospital, and if they have a challenge, the hospital will decide?
So we are dealing with the regional hospital. Today we have announced 29 facilities that we are working with. Regional hospitals, teaching hospitals, and some private hospitals, because most of the private hospitals have these equipments, high sophisticated equipments that the regional hospitals and teaching hospitals do not have. So we need to bring them on board to complement the regional and teaching hospitals. So we are dealing with 29 facilities.
What do you mean by dealing? It means that those are the hospitals I can go to and get support from you.
Get onboarded.
Can you mention some of them where they are located to help us?
So let me just mention them for you, so that you know that in every region where there's a regional hospital, where there's a teaching hospital, we are in there.
So of course, Greater Accra region.
Greater Accra, we are dealing with Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge Hospital. Okay. Then we have 6 private facilities that we have added, because they have the kind of equipment that we can use to treat these cancer patients.
In Greater Accra?
In Greater Accra, UGMC, we are dealing with Maritime Hospital, Snate Hospital, 37 Military Hospital, Care, St. Michael, and the Bank Hospital.
But UGMC 37, these are state hospitals, or when you say private?
Some of them are quasi.
Oh, okay. So, but when you want to say strictly government, that's Ridge Hospital and Kolebu.
But we need to complement them.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. If cancer patients need a radiotherapy machine, for the public sector, we have just 2 radiotherapy machines in the whole of the country, and these cancer patients need the radiotherapy machine. So if you don't go to Kumasi, you have to come into Accra. In Accra, when you go to Kolebu, you can queue for about 2 to 3 months before you get a session. In Kumasi, almost the same. But then there are some private facilities that have these equipments. So you are better off treating some of your patients there whilst we plan on government plans on its retooling of some of these facilities for us to work with, because clearly the moment that people are accessing the fund for free, the load will be that much, and when we need a lot of facilities to be able to help us treat these patients.
Let's talk about, so you've talked about Greater Accra. I want to hear Ashanti region and Northern region, and then we can talk about other issues. So
in Ashanti region, we are dealing with Komfanochi Hospital, and then they have Komfanochi is a teaching hospital,
yes.
And then they have the Kumasi South Hospital. That's their regional hospital.
I think that's Suntresu also. Okay.
Yes, so that's what we are dealing
with. So those
are
the 2 in Ashanti region.
Yes, we are dealing with the Tamale Teaching Hospital. We have the Northern Regional Hospital. That's the regional hospital there. So 2 in Tamale, Upper West Regional Hospital, Upper East Regional Hospital. We have the Aisha Hospital. That one is a private facility, but they have the kind of equipment that can help to complement the regional and teaching hospital.
What kind of support have you given to these hospitals, and how many have you given support to so far?
I think that for now, for the regional and teaching hospitals, what we have done is that some of the equipment that have been donated to us, like dialysis machines and consumables and all the other things that have been donated to us, we've given to them. I think the government itself has a plan of retooling these facilities, which is coming up very soon, and I'm sure that all of them will be retooled.
There's a cardiology center you are planning to construct, or
we
renovate?
Are constructing already.
Where?
The first one is in Komfanochi, and then the second one is in Tamale. Basically, what the
why do you decide to do that?
I think that you heard about the doctor that died in Kumasi, who needed a cath lab. So His Excellency the President made a decision that he was going to put some cardiology centers across the country. In the beginning, it was just the cath lab that he thought that we should buy and put in the various facilities. But then going around and speaking to these facilities, we realized that they didn't even have space for those equipments. So then we had to build. So for Komfanochi and Tamale, we had to build from the scratch. In building, you cannot just simply say that you are going to put that equipment there and leave it there. So the president, in his own wisdom, decided that in consultation with the end users and the hospital workers, the cardiologists and all of them, made the intervention that it was important to add other support to it. So that's why in that building, when you enter, you get a hybrid theater, you get your oxygen plants, you get your consulting rooms, you get a nurses station, everything in there with an oxygen plant and everything. So it's a one-stop shop. When you enter, you get your procedure done, you get your admission, everything. When you are done, you just go straight home. Other than that, if we had just put the equipment in that facility, when they even finish the procedure, they need to take you into the main hospital, maybe for admission or onward treatment. But now in that building, there's everything in there. When you enter, you're treated, you are admitted, you have your ICU and everything in there, then you can just go home. So in Komfanochi and Tamale, that's what we are building. It's a 3-story building. But in Accra,
what level has it reached?
We are
now starting.
No, we are on the second level. I can show you pictures. And then in Accra, Kolebu had, but then it caught fire, so it wasn't working for some time. So all we are doing now is decommissioning and then installing the new one, and that one is almost done. We are hoping that by the 31st of this month, His Excellency the President can commission it.
You're also training specialists. Talk to me about that.
Yes, we're training specialists because we need the specialist doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers to complement the specialist doctors, because they are the ones that we can use to treat these non-communicable diseases. So in consultation with the physicians and surgeons college, we decided that we are going to partner them. Ordinarily, if you wanted any of those specialist training, you had to come all the way to Kumasi or Accra to enroll. But then now we are taking it to their doorsteps, so that if you are a specialist in, let's say, Tamale Teaching Hospital, you don't have to leave your work and come to school in Accra or Kumasi. The training will be brought to your doorsteps, and that's exactly what.
So you are sponsoring that training?
Yes, we are sponsoring that training, and we are doing that with the physicians and surgeons, for the doctors, and then for the midwives and the nurses college, we are doing 100 nurses and 100 pharmacists with the pharmacists college also. So in all, we are spending 36.2 million
doing that. But have you been given the budgetary allocation already, or you are yet to get that?
Already,
so the 2 billion from the NHIS has been given to you.
Last year we started half year. We got half of the budgetary allocation. This year too started coming already. So
that's what you are using to do this work.
Yes.
But have you started taking care of people's ailments yet? So have you
haven't rolled out yet, because I told you about the software that we are connecting to these 29 facilities, and we're hoping that by the end of the month we'll be done onboarding all of them onto the software.
So if someone wants to benefit from Mahama Cares, when do they? June.
Yes.
So if
first week in June we roll out.
So if someone has cancer, breast cancer, any of the cancers, and they go to Kolebu or Ridge Hospital from June, they will not pay anything?
No. From consultation, diagnosis, your medication, we have the medicines list there.
That's for just the 29. When do we roll out for the whole nation? So that
that's what I'm saying. So we are starting with the 29, and as we go, as we keep adding the conditions, we also add the facilities.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, what is your work plan? If you're starting with 29, by what time do you expect to take it to 50, to 100?
Yeah. So I'm saying that every quarter we add conditions, we add more facilities, so that at the end of the day, but you know that for these conditions, they can only be treated in specialist hospitals. So at the end of the day, it's not just any hospital that you can add.
Okay, but you can have some, for instance, Tema General Hospital serves a lot of people in that area. So one would want to know, when you are going to put a hospital like that, the Gan East Hospital serves a lot of people in that area. So
and they are all district hospitals.
Yeah, so
that's where the NHIS operates.
So if you have a cancer, you cannot go to Tema General, for instance.
When you go, you'll be referred
to the hospitals that will do that. Okay.
So then you get a specialist. That specialist is the one that can onboard you.
Why did you decide to start with cancers?
Because we have subject matter experts that we work with. So they did a lot of work, and then at the end of the day, in consultation with the board of trustees, we realized that the cancers were on the rise. And then it was important to start with the cancers.
But have they also said to you what your next would be after the cancers? What the next one?
Not yet. I'm sure that as soon as we roll out and they see the pace at which this one goes, the next one will come.
And they said to you that the money you have allocated is enough to pay for that? Because
at least
2 billion
may
sound big, but it may still...
At least for the cancers, we are sure that we are good to go.
Which means that you may need more funding as you roll out more.
Clearly, but I'm sure that as and when we get there, government will make a decision. So it's important to test the systems now, know how much it will cost us exactly, then we take it from there.
So far, government has allocated 2%, 20% of NHIS for you. There may be a seed fund that will be given to you. What other places have you got funding from? Either
corporate institutions.
So what kind of institutions have supported you, and how have the support been?
A lot of them, Gold Board, BOST, NPA, all of them. They are quite a lot. Okay. Just between September last year and December last year, 2025, we made up to about 6.8 million from donations.
Okay, so all that comes to augment your work.
Yes.
I'm a private hospital. I have everything. I want to be added to the NHIS. What do I have to do? What's the criteria?
You want to be added to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. You need to come and have a conversation with us.
What do I need to already have? So what should be the eligibility criteria? What boxes do I need to tick before I come?
Equipment for the treatment of these persons living with the non-communicable diseases. The moment you hear cancers, you are looking for a mammogram machine, CT scan, PET scans and all these sophisticated equipment, diagnostic equipment especially. So then you know that you have all these in your facilities. You reach out to us, you come, we sit down, have a discussion, we see what kind of capacity you have. Then we can add you to the list.
So that's for the hospital. For the patients listening to us, how do they qualify to be treated?
Your specialist. All these persons being treated for cancers see specialists, and your specialist is the one who can onboard you. So the moment you get there, some of these specialists will simply say that you can take care of yourself, you don't need to be onboarded onto the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. But the specialist will say, this is my patient, she really needs help. I know that it's difficult for her to even get her tests done and diagnostics and all of it. So the specialist makes that decision to onboard you.
It means that there could be people who have these chronic diseases, but they would not benefit from Mahama Cares.
Many of
That's
them,
discriminatory.
It's not discriminatory. Many of them will simply not want to be onboarded. People simply don't want anybody to even know what kind of treatment they are getting so far as their health is concerned.
So if you have the capacity to treat yourself, you are not part.
Yes, you can decide.
But if you don't have the capacity, you come to ask, then you will be helped.
Exactly. The specialist will willingly do that for you.
The health facilities that you deal with, how do they communicate with the fund? What's the modus of communication?
Because I told you that there's a software that has been connected through them. So whatever it is,
but that software, is it ready?
It's ready. And most of them have been connected. I think that the very few, I think some of the regional hospitals, I'm hoping that by the end of next week, they will be connected, and all these 29 connected, trained.
And so they would be picking the data of the people.
No, but they already have the medical records of their patients.
Okay.
So the moment they decide to onboard you, they put your records and everything onto the system. And then we receive it automatically at the secretariat. Then we have the people who go through it. They vet it. And then it comes and then we approve. Sometimes it will not be approved. Maybe they will ask for further documentation or maybe some other questions before you are approved, but we have between 7 to 14 days to approve it.
Some of the challenges we had with the NHIS is that people would come in and say, the hospitals will come in and say, oh, this is our bill. Turns out that bill is fictitious. I mean, the NHIS is working on that. It's something that they've had for some time now. I'm sure these things may come to you
as well. It will not come to us because of the patient navigators that we have situated in the hospitals. The moment a patient is on board, this patient navigator gets all the details, knows what kind of diagnostics that person has been asked to get done. That person is going on admission, surgery, everything. So the patient navigator knows exactly what that patient has been able to access in that facility. Even if they have to access a diagnostic facility outside the hospital, the patient navigator has all the details. So there's no way you can bring us a different bill from what the patient navigator has. So that helps us because we have an eye at the facility.
Okay. Now, I'm asking this because we've seen it in the past with the NHIS. Do you have to send supervisors, people to monitor physically in these hospitals?
The PNOs are situated in the hospitals, and we have regional coordinators.
Okay.
So let's say in Ashanti region, we are dealing with Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Kumasi South Hospital. All of these two facilities have patient navigators situated in the facility. Apart from that, we have a regional coordinator. He is the one who deals directly with these PNOs at the facilities, gets their reports, gets any information that he needs to get from them, and he reports directly to the secretariat.
What's your payment plan? Are you doing a prepaid to the facilities or you're doing a postpaid? I.e., do you pay them? So you pay them after they bring a bill, not before?
No.
It's not as if you give them a bill, money, and say, listen, for whoever comes asking to be taken care of, this is money, hold it in your pocket.
It's postpaid. The only time that we had done prepaid was when we were doing the pilot cases.
So far, about how many people would you say have benefited under the Mahama Cares?
More than 50.
More than 50. And they are continually benefiting, not that they've benefited. So
because their treatment is continual. You understand me? When you treat a cancer patient, he's going through chemotherapy, might have some complications whilst they go through that treatment. We had a young man when we decided to put him on the chemo treatment. Eventually, the doctors couldn't get access to his veins. Now we have to put a pot around his chest for them to pass his fluids and stuff like that. We had already made the payment of about 270,000 for his treatment, but then when they had to put the pot in there, we had to pay for the pot. Extra. So we can simply not say that we paid for that and we are done. So when you need a pot, go and find the money yourself. No, we continue.
So you take care of everything,
exactly.
every incidental issue. Okay. Yusuf from Town Council line has sent a message. I want to read to you because people are listening and they have questions. He says, kindly tell Obobia that I need her help. My younger sister has been diagnosed with alkalasia and the cost is unbearable to our family. It costs 56,000 cedis. Can her office do something to help? We are on our knees.
Which facility are they getting the treatment from?
I don't know, but he sent, he said from Town Council line, I do not know, but this is what he said. He said they are suffering from alkalasia. Is that something you cover?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because you mentioned cancers. I don't know what alkalasia is.
Alkalasia, I'm not sure because it's not one of the cancers we are treating.
Okay. I have a few questions that I wanted to get to you from my people. Okay, this one says, no, okay, this is not a message I should be reading on air for you. The people of Bawe are still very grateful to Obobia for her active role in development of certain areas, rural and suburbs, even when she was not in power. We miss her. That's your Ouija people asking you to come back. So alkalasia I have just been given. Alkalasia is a rare chronic disorder of the esophagus that makes it difficult for food and liquid to pass into the stomach. It occurs when nerves in the esophagus degenerate, preventing it from propelling food down and stopping the lower esophageal sphincter from relaxing to allow passage of. So I don't know. Do you have your technical person here? So you do not have that?
No, we do not have. And I'm not sure that's part of the cancers we are treating.
What if they come and say, listen, we beg, we know you are yet to get to this one, but right now, this one...
We are trying to get approval from the board so that we can open a window for very severe cases, so that even as we're dealing with the cancers, we can say that maybe when there's like something,
so there can be special cases,
exactly, but we need the board to approve that. Yes,
so you have a board that
we have a 30-member board. Yes, so if as and when they open that window, I think that we'll be able to take on some of these cases, conditions, but until then we are sticking to the breast cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer, and the childhood cancers such as the leukemia, lymphoma, soft tissue sarcomas, retinoblastomas, and the nephroplasmas.
Kwabna says Honorable Dakuo Bobia and Dr. Norbert Kipo are doing great with the Mahama Care. Extend my best regards to them and the team.
Thank you very much.
Then the Prince Henry says Madam Obobia will succeed. God bless her.
Amen.
People are celebrating you, but those people, if you don't... Okay, so one last question that I have got. Derek says, great job. Okay, that's Prince Derek AJ. He's giving you fans.
Thank you very much.
Moving forward, in the next year, when I invite you again, what would be the success story that you would want to tell with the Mahama Care?
Would have been done with the catheterization labs. Many people will be benefiting from it. Ordinarily, those who would have had an open head surgery or an open heart surgeries will benefit from these very minimal invasions, and then they will be treated, going through their procedures, treated and discharged without getting these open head surgeries and heart surgeries. We are looking at building oncology cancer centers across the country. So in let's say 3 months, when you bring me on here, I'll tell you how many patients we've been able to treat across the country, because we would have rolled out for some time. We would have added, I'm sure, more conditions onto what we are going to do now, the cancers, and I'm sure that it will be a beautiful success story.
Adra, we wish you all the best.
Thank you. It's good to see you once
again.
It's good
to see you. You're looking fine, girl. That's Obobia Dakuo Poko. She's administrator of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, also known as Mahama Cares. That will be it for Eyewitness News tonight. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. I did this with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, produced by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, Julian Odami Osari, Sami Wiafi Fretete Jabano, and the technical support from Desmond Nyaku, Edwin Kwakofi, and the new media team supported us with the social media side. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Up next, I leave you in the hands of Samuel Atemens, and he brings you Footprint.